Hi, I'm Ricky, and this is my best friend Becky.
Hello.
We're stepmoms without children, and today we're going to talk about holiday menus. Hashtag giving good stove.
Episode number 4.
Thanks for everyone who's still here.
Thank you so much for still being here.
Okay.
Absolutely.
How are you? Post birthday. How was the rest of your week back?
Not a lot to report on my end.
Mhm.
The kitchen's still moving along. The counters get installed tomorrow.
So exciting.
Ah! So our plan is to tile through Friday and Saturday, and hopefully we will be cooking our very first meal in our new kitchen on Sunday.
I love that.
Oh,
So,
really?
I'm going to real quick just address the elephant in the room. I'm very sick. I feel like death. Which is funny because Becky was sick last weekend on her birthday weekend and she didn't get to go to her birthday dinner.
Boo.
She ruined her own engagement by getting sick, and now I'm sick, and that's probably just karma for keep calling it the engagement dinner.
Yeah, because that's not what it was. It was.
It's not. I just live in fantasy land.
I mean, I've been there for 4 years, honey. So,
I love that.
so how was your week? I feel like you always have more like weekly things.
I just, you know how we talked about it, loving context?
Hmm.
Like, I just give me a detail. I have so many details that I can just turn into a story. That's why. Last week we talked about the Spotify wrap ups. So this is just like it's a popular thing that I'm hearing these days, a no sabo kid. And it made me feel like such a no sabo kid. So a no sabo kid is like a kid who's Hispanic but does not speak Spanish, and so they have to keep telling people, "Oh, no sabo." Like I don't understand. I don't know. So that's literally me. But so I sent my Spotify wrap up to my cousins in the group chat, as we all normally do each year. And so there's a song on there, a Becky G song, like we talked about, called Mayores. And I don't know what this song means. I've not looked up the lyrics as I do often to songs, so I know what I'm singing about.
Hold on, wait. Are you still looking up lyrics?
100% I am.
That's so funny.
Isn't it?
It's giving like the year 2000, LimeWire,
Oh
and
my god,
looking
yeah.
up
It's giving.
lyrics.
I couldn't remember the website because one of them had a bunch of ads, and then there was like another one that like gave you a virus. I think azlyrics.net is the elite lyrics lyrics website. So normally, so I look up the lyrics to a lot of songs and I compare them and I try to translate them myself, or I'll look up the translation or whatever. And so my cousins, two of them, Aisha and Melanie, they were both like, "Oh my god, yeah, Mayores, Becky G, it's about older men." Like they said something about like older men, or like that's like on brand or something because my husband's older than me. And I was like, never
Yeah.
one, never one time did I know that that's what that song meant.
That's so cute.
I mean, it applies, but I never one time looked it up. So when they said it, I was like, oh, that must be. I still haven't looked it up, so probably that's what it means. I mean, it makes sense, but
I
I never
mean,
thought.
you said this a couple episodes ago, like a bop is a bop.
A
So,
bop is a bop. I listen to like these like Arabic rap songs that like will be like a little like dancey and like housey, and I'm like, I don't speak Arabic, but this is a fucking bop. I can't. What else happened? Oh, speaking of group chat, we were talking last week about group chat, and I just mentioned that I have a cousins group chat. I've been through several, maybe 4 or 5 group chats.
how do you keep them like organized? Great.
I mean, they're not all popping at the same time.
Mm.
A lot of the group chats have a layover of people. Some of them are like I'm in a group chat for my husband's podcast that I don't pay attention to, but like I'll just like lurk a little bit
I'm sorry, which, by
here.
the way, I'm just going to put it out there. As a member of the Media Virus
Network.
Nation, I still don't understand how I've not been invited to that group chat, but that's fine. Keep
I
going.
mean, it's not a very exciting group chat, but I will add you like literally right now, just so you can see the nonsense. But so we were talking about group chats, and then a couple or a few, because it was 3, of our listeners texted me and were like, "Can I be in the group chat?" And I feel like that's a great idea. But the last time I invited a friend to join our girls' night group chat,
I
you
mean,
guys bit
hold
my head
on,
off.
hold on. You did
Yeah.
not invite someone. You mentioned wanting to.
Yes.
So start there.
Even less. I even less than invited someone to our group chat. I thought it would be a nice way to round out our group. There's 5 of us. I thought, oh, 6 might be fun. I was alerted that 6 would not be fun, and 5 is plenty. With force.
Let me tell you, it like so vividly remember this. I mean, it was first grade, like my BFF. You can't sit here.
Right.
I mean, it was hilarious.
It was harsh. I remember I was in the hospital with my husband, like fighting with you guys over it.
And I just want to say that it was one of my crowning, like stirring the pot moments. Because I saw the direction it was going and I just leaned into that real heavy.
So glad. So glad. So, anyways, it got me thinking, and I'm going to create a Spotify poll for this. So, everybody join Spotify. Should we create a messenger group chat with anyone who wants to be in it, like listeners? I know that so stepmoms, the podcast, like we don't have like one social media page. I mean, we have a website that we don't have very much information on, but we can certainly add things. I post things on my social media on Instagram, and Becky puts things on her Instagram and her Facebook, and obviously on my Facebook. But we have several things that we can do. We can start an Instagram page, which I think is not as interactive as Facebook. We can start a Facebook page. We can start a Facebook group where I can like post the show, and then everyone can kind of put their comments, on each post, and stories we're talking about and things we're saying, like your TikTok video, we could post that. So I was thinking that for a Facebook moment, but then I was like, maybe just we need a group chat for these girls. A lot of people will watch the show, not just my group chat people, but like other friends from back home. They'll be not watching the show, they'll be listening to our show, and they're like texting me like they're like little notes, not notes, but like LOLs and ha-has and what was funny. And that's literally my favorite thing.
Yeah, I love a collaborative.
Oh yeah, it's like listening along, like it's so cute. And so if we have a group chat, then whoever's listening at the same time can put their little anecdotes in. And so I'm going to put a poll of what social media version you guys would like, and so head over to Spotify to check that out. What else happened this week? Nothing super exciting. We didn't have Ryan, who's my stepson. I know we're stepmoms without children, but he's not a children. But we did not have him this weekend, so we did get to catch up on TV. TV's my favorite. I'm an NBC girly. I caught up with the show Found, which is a new show that came out this fall, which there was not a lot of shows to come out this fall because of the strike. But I love the show. It's so good. It has the girl from Shameless, the neighbor.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, I think her real name was like Shonda or something. But she plays like a cop almost. It's not an actual cop, but she plays like a lady who like finds people that like the cops aren't good at finding, and it's just so good. It's a really good show. And then I realized that the other show that came out this fall got canceled because there were no episodes of it. And then just a real quick shout out. We love a shout out on the show, I feel. Congratulations to my husband's niece, Stephanie. She had a baby on Monday.
Aww.
And I feel weird saying my husband's niece because it's like I'm not trying to like not take ownership of her, but we also were born the same year, and so it's weird to call her my niece. But my dear Stephanie had a baby Evie. So that's just an exciting little thing I wanted to share. But on to Giving Stove, on to cooking. What are we cooking? What's the plan?
As I stated earlier, the kitchen is going to be done this week, hopefully, fingers crossed. So, for weeks we've kind of been talking about what's the first thing we're going to cook in our new kitchen.
Right.
And for a couple weeks, Vince was talking about chili.
I feel like that's a cheat because chili you can make on like a freaking crock pot.
I mean, can you?
I don't know. It just seems like it's a soup, so you can. I'm not a chili girl, so let me not.
I mean, I don't know. You're probably right. I'm sure you can make a chili in a crock pot. I do not make chili.
I would never.
I mean, I don't know if we've ever talked about crockpot cooking before, but I'm not the hugest fan.
Well, yeah, you're very traditional with your cooking.
So to me, and I get it. I mean, would normally be made in a crock pot. I will make in like the cast iron Dutch oven.
Right.
And I just think it cooks more evenly. I just think you have a little bit more control.
Right. For
And
sure.
I like a chili, and it's chili season and it's football, but I love a baked ziti, and
Uh-huh.
I think that maybe that is one of my favorite foods, and it's one of my favorite things to cook, and I really would just love to make a baked ziti in the new kitchen.
Yum. I am not a pasta girly. I'm not an Italian food girly, but I did have your baked ziti when we had the Battle of St. Andrews field day thing.
Mm.
Pretty good.
I just think it's like one of the things that is like universally liked,
Uh-huh.
and it can feed a crowd, and
The pasta part's inexpensive.
yeah, it's fun to cook. You make the sauce, and I just love baked ziti. I have loved baked ziti since The Sopranos. Carmela's baked ziti.
Yes.
Carmela for The Sopranos used to put, like, she would do it with like chopped up meatballs, and she would make meatballs, which I think is cute, and I would totally try that sometime. But I usually will throw together like a meat sauce.
Wasn't there an episode that it was Tony Soprano's son's birthday and the grandma wasn't coming, or like she died or something, and he was like, what, so no ziti or something like that? Like he was so concerned about his birthday party having his grandma's ziti.
What, no ziti?
Yeah, it was something like that. It was funny.
So Sopranos, they so Meadow and me,
right,
they have a podcast together.
Yes, I've seen that on Instagram.
So
they love sticking together, the Soprano people.
Love it. I love it. I just rewatched that show not that long ago, and every single time I watch The Sopranos, I just can deep dive like a little bit more into it, and like just the like the metaphors.
You love a deep dive. So good. Research.
It's so good. It's so good. The Sopranos. Moving on. So I do love Italian food. I'm Italian food girl. I love to eat Italian food. I love to watch videos about people cooking Italian food. I love to cook Italian food. But I think the biggest thing coming up on us is a very big holiday.
Yes.
So what are you making for Christmas?
I mean, like the exact opposite of Italian food. Just a quick note about Christmas and Italian food and your household. So last year, me and Vince were talking at work, and he said something about like making shrimp, or I said something about making shrimp. Somebody was talking about shrimp, and he was like, well, yeah, you're supposed to have shrimp on Christmas Eve. So I know about the 7 fishes feast. Like that's an Italian thing. And your husband like grew up Italian, and so like he didn't know that wasn't a universal like thing.
Hold on. Stop right there. Pump the brakes, okay? You can't call Vince my husband and then talk about my alleged proposal birthday dinner in the same episode. Pick a lane, bitch.
I forget. I feel like since Nina got married, everybody has a husband now.
You don't know how many people have come out of the woodworks and been like, I listen to your podcast. It's great. When did you get married?
Sorry.
Anyway, I'm sorry. So
your man friend, your Vince, domestic partner.
My partner, yes. So he thought that fish on Christmas Eve is a universal experience.
He thought everyone did that. He thought that was like the tradition. Like there's Santa Claus, there's chocolate chip cookies, there's 7 fish dinner on Christmas Eve. Like that's what he thought. And I was like, no, actually. That's Italian.
That's cute.
It is cute. That's funny. When did you get married? I love that. So yeah, I'm not cooking fish. So here's the thing. Christmas Eve, we're doing Matt's family's house. Matt's family's house, I usually have to do most of the cooking. I try to delegate where I can. But it's usually an Erica show, and I don't want to do very much. Tell you that right now. And so I've introduced the idea of like appetizery picky things. So I was thinking of a spiral ham that I'll cut up into smaller pieces to make sandwiches. I was thinking of a meatball thing that I will delegate to somebody who cares enough. And I was thinking a buffalo chicken dip, but my buffalo chicken dip is very chicken salady. Like it's warm, but it's very chickeny. It's bigger, thicker pieces of chicken
Ooh,
and not just
shit.
like diced, tiny little, barely there chicken. I'm like, this is meaty. So I was thinking of that because I have like a 3 crock pot, like a warmer thing that my mother-in-law gave me once. And so I figure we can do that. Because they're Polish, I was thinking like a kielbasa pierogi platter little thing, like or maybe on a skewer. I haven't thought of it, but I haven't decided on it. But like a little mini pierogi and a little piece of kielbasa and maybe like I don't know, a gherkin or something.
Vince's dad gets kielbasa at some place in Delaware.
Yes, it's actually next to my brother's house. It's like up the street or around the corner or something.
I mean, he does. So we does that for Christmas too. We always have kielbasa at Christmas and Thanksgiving. So on top of being Italians, they're also Polish.
Mm-hmm. That's them paying homage, just having the kielbasa, not the Johnsonville, not the Hillshire Farms, the real one.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. There's a real one in Philadelphia. There's a lot of Polish people where my other stepson, Matt Jr. lives, which is where my husband's mom grew up. So there's a super Polish area.
Swayaki's.
But it's a little salty, the kielbasa.
Oh, I like Swayaki's, really?
I don't know. Maybe I wasn't used to it. Maybe just that day. But I've tried it once and I was like, a little salty, no? Maybe I was just sensitive to salt that day. But yeah, so my plan is to do pickies, little appetizery things, because I want Christmas Eve to be like heavy on the games.
So do I. Oh, the dream.
Heavy on the games. Because it's just more fun that way. Like we all see each other so frequently, the people that are going, that it's like, what are we gonna talk about? I talked to you yesterday. So playing games is the vibe, and then that like turns into like my gift giving because I like buy so much for the games, like prizes and stuff. And so it's just, the cool thing. But my mom, Christmas Day, my dad said he also wants to be game heavy on Christmas Day, which is also just fun. But my mom was talking about the food that she wants to do, and she's also looking for a buffet style light fare. But then in the same breath, and this is no offense, Mom, this is just funny that you do this. In the same breath, she has all of these like laborious things that she wants to cook.
Oh, hold on. The apple not falling very far from the tree.
What?
Wait, hold on. Was it, I don't know if it was Memorial Day. We were having people over to my house, and we kind of kept going back and forth about the menu. Like I kept wanting to keep it simple, and like you were like, I'm gonna make this and this and this, and I'm like, this is too much food, and you kept like convincing me like, no, it's not too much food, it's not too much work, and I swear to God, you texted me like the night before at like 2:30 in the morning, like, oh, I just finished the pineapple salad.
Yeah.
So shout out to Liz.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Shout out to Liz. The apple not falling far from that tree right there. That's cute. I love that.
Listen, I love a variety of food, and if we can do it, then might as well. But it wasn't a pineapple salad because I don't want people to think I'm some like Midwest weirdo that like puts Jello and pretzels and canned pineapple and calls it a salad.
I just don't remember what it was. I just my head instantly went to pineapple salad because you love pineapples, and I know. Remember.
There was a pineapple pudding. There was a pineapple pudding moment.
Yes.
But I'll never do that again because I learned that group of people does not enjoy pudding. And so I remember like driving that pudding to my brother's house for my sister-in-law and the kids to have, because I was like, you guys appreciate this, you guys have it.
I you know, and I don't even, because it definitely is right up my alley, but I think we had so much other food.
Yeah. But no, I remember like, you wanted to just do burgers. And I was like, well, that's impossible because there's going to be so many people. So we need to have like kebabs. And I made kebabs really late.
Which were really good, by the way.
Oh, they're freaking best. They're so easy. So yeah, it be what it be.
So I want to talk about, this all reminds me of last year, Christmas time and
Uh-huh.
Christmas baking.
Oh
And
God.
and I remember we were texting about baking, and you were on this hill that you were going to die on, that you were gonna make healthy or like diabetic friendly Christmas baked goods for your husband, which, by the way, so sweet of you to do that. But
Yeah.
you were making a pound cake with almond flour and stevia.
Ugh.
And I was so mad at you about it because I'm like, it's Christmas time.
Right. That was your whole argument. Was this is great that you're doing this, but it's Christmas, so you don't need to do it. That was the logic. That we don't stevia at Christmas.
Oh my God. And I'm pretty sure like I went to work the next day and like put it in my work group chat. Like,
This
what
bitch.
Erica's doing. Like you like single-handedly were like ruining like my Christmas because you were using almond flour and stevia.
Well, thank you. It ended up being terrible.
But
Uh,
but I would like to go on record and say that those almond flour chocolate chip cookies,
yes.
delightful.
I don't even remember the recipe. I'm sure it's in a screenshot
Oh
somewhere.
yeah, they were like, the texture, they were really soft and they weren't super super sweet.
Right.
It was nice.
I'm not interested because I remember how difficult it was, and I think it was pecan flour and almond flour, or like it was two different types of flour that like the internet was saying if you use this one, like it'll come out really dense, and if you use this one, it'll come out kind of fluffy or light or whatever. And so if you use both of them, it'll come out perfect. And I was like, oh well, I'm aiming for perfect, so let me spend all this money on both.
Which, by the way, the flowers are very expensive.
Honestly, I remember there was a sale. Like, I do remember that. Like, the reason why I originally bought it was because it was on sale. The whole thing was a whole hot mess. I still have bags of it left over that I need to figure out how to use. I don't even care. I think I used it on my crumble for my sweet potato pie on Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Not sweet potato pie, sweet potato casserole. I have no use for this stupid almond flour. But last year I made such a big deal. I wanted to make ricotta cookies because my boss got me ricotta cookies from this pizza place in Delaware County, and it was Coco's Pizza, actually, the original Coco's Pizza. And I was so excited over them that I wanted to make them on my own, only I had to make like friggin' 10 dozen. Like, I had so many of these cookies and nobody was that interested in them.
I don't, hold on, because I was never given a ricotta cookie.
So I remember Matt saying that he like didn't see the appeal.
Oh.
Yes. So I was like embarrassed about them.
I bet
and I remember
I would love them.
So they were good, but like there was an icing to go on it. So I didn't have enough, or I didn't make enough icing because I didn't have enough powdered sugar to make icing for all the cookies. So they were just kind of whatever. Like, nobody really gave a shit about them, and I was so embarrassed by it. So I was like,
oh my God, that really bums me out because I bet you I would have freaking loved them.
Let's package this up and bring it to the group chat and ask Nina if she liked them.
Oh.
Because I feel like she had strong feelings about them being pretty mediocre.
Well, and here's the thing. I just don't think that you love bacon.
I do. I
Really?
really do. So no, I really do. I've baked since I can remember. I remember my mom teaching me how to bake. Like, baking for Christmas has been like a Liz and Erica tradition.
Oh.
Since like I'm a kid.
I love that.
Yeah, and I like remember her teaching me how to like put flour, like how to actually measure flour. But I just like baking is my thing that I do, and like making little platters and little baskets and tin cans for people like as like a gift. That is my jam because my mom does that. Like my dad would bring platters to his job of like our little baked goods and stuff.
Mm.
So this year, I like a couple weeks ago told my husband I would not be doing the baking just in an effort to not be eating the sugars. He was very upset by this
I
decision.
remember this.
Very upset. And he said that I had to.
Oh. Well, so to piggyback on Christmas Christmas fails.
Right.
A few years ago, probably at this point, it's about 5 years ago, I wanted to make a Yule log, a bûche de Noël. And
Ooh.
I watched about 100 YouTube videos. I read every recipe I could find, and I picked my little Swiss roll cake that I wanted, the filling that I was going to make with it, the frosting I was going to put on the outside. I had this very epic idea in my head of what it was going to look like. I made these little marzipan and slivered almond pine cone looking things. I made little mushrooms. I got to work on the Swiss roll cake and the first one. So have you ever made like a roll cake before?
Never once.
Okay. So you have to take like a kitchen towel, and when it comes out of the oven, before it cools down, you have to like depan it, and then you roll it in the kitchen towel. It like basically you're training the cake to be in that roll shape.
I've seen this on the Great British Baking Show.
Yes, you have. They love a roll. The first one I made stuck to the tea towel.
Oh.
And when I say stuck, I mean I had to throw the tea towel away. So attempt number 2, it cracked so bad. I got so upset. I threw everything away, and kind of like you with the freaking pound cakes, like you buy all these things, you're so excited in your mind, it's going to come out so good. And it just didn't. And it was so sad. And of course I was bragging about it. Like, oh, I'm doing this for Christmas. Like, and then I don't show up with a bûche de Noël.
Would they have appreciated it though?
So, the short answer to that is yes.
Oh, that's the worst.
But redemption story. So last year for Christmas, I followed step by step American Test Kitchen recipe. And it came out perfect.
Oh, good job.
Yeah. So filling is caramel. Caramel
my
cream.
Favorite.
And my first go with the caramel burned, but okay, that's not a problem. We did it again, and then the cream came out great, and then the roll cake part of it came out perfect, and then it's covered in like a ganache.
Ooh.
Like do a little, like you make it look like bark, you know?
Yeah.
So that was so fun. It was tasty. It was a good cake, but it looked impressive. And I
love that.
Finally like have one come out good. But
can we make a rule that every time we bake something, we have to save a slice for each other?
So cute. I love that. Even if you throw it in the freezer, you know what I mean?
I'm saying, give me that.
I can't. So the one thing I'm going to do, this weekend, you know, we got some tiling to do and hopefully we'll be able to cook something. But the following weekends, I have my kitchen 100%, and I cannot freaking wait to bake some cookies.
Are you going to be doing the holiday baking?
Well,
are you hosting? Are you hosting for Christmas or something?
So like the Feast of the Seven Fishes at the Zolax, right? And I'll probably, I didn't commit to anything bake-wise, only because we weren't sure how long the countertop was going to take. And shout out to Colonial, because measurement and install within a week. Hello.
We love that.
So I did not commit to anything, but now that I know I do have a little bit of time, I will bake something for Christmas Eve. And then Christmas Day, you know, we were supposed to go to the Eagles game, but you know, Vinny can't come home for Christmas, so we don't know what we're gonna do yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's sad. Oh my God. First Christmas without him.
Sad, but like, I gotta be honest with you, I kind of expected it, only because, you know, he was home for those 3 weeks in September.
Yeah.
So
listener, eventually in like a couple weeks, we will give you the lowdown on our stepmom status and our adult children status. But for right now, we don't have time because we're too busy talking about food. Know what I'm saying?
My most favorite thing to talk about.
Okay. So I mentioned that Matt got very upset about my decision to not bake this Christmas. And then I don't know what it was, but I recently got in the holiday spirit. I don't
Really?
remember. Yeah, and I'm usually not. I'm usually a whenever the couple days before Christmas Eve is, that's when I start my shopping, which is a terrible idea. Um, but I think actually no, it was last Friday. Last Friday, me and Matt, we went to Five Below, and I saw all these like little like tchotchke things to like get the kids, and I was like, wait, hold on, because ho ho ho, here I
Oh,
come. So I do plan on doing holiday baking. I'm going to make rum balls that I've been making with my mom since forever.
you love a rum ball.
It's so fun. It's so easy, and you can make them, or you should make them, like a week or two before actual Christmas, so they can like I don't know marinate. I don't know. It's like Nilla wafers, powdered sugar, and rum.
That's it?
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm sure there's other smaller ingredients, but that's basically what it is.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's like friggin' stuffing with
But
rum.
Vince's mom makes those. Some people call them snowball cookies. Some people call them like Mexican wedding cookies.
Yes, my mom had a tin of them on Thanksgiving.
Oh, I love them.
I love that. I don't remember eating them, but I saw the name at my mom's house recently.
Such a different, like, unique texture because of the nuts in them.
Oh, I would hate it. Yeah, that's not my jam. Like maybe like an almond, but like all the other ones are for the birds.
Oh,
I make a really good cheesecake, and I do one with like a gingerbread cookie pecan crust.
really?
Yes, it's a pumpkin swirl cheesecake. It's so good. And I want to make it, but I want to make a mini because I'm just like post COVID, like I don't like to make big things. I want to make little mini things that people could just take one and not make a mess. I just got so stuffed up all of a sudden. Holy crap.
I did not know that you made cheesecake.
Yeah, I am a cheesecake girly. So I usually either do this pumpkin gingerbread crust cheesecake, or I do like chocolate chip cookie cheesecake bars. So it'll be like chocolate chip cookie, cheesecake in the middle, more chocolate chip cookie on top.
Gimme.
Yeah. So those are my two go-tos. I'm gonna make one of those two this year. I'm not sure which one. And then of course I'm gonna make pound cake because I make pound cake because that's like my dad's request, and he doesn't request a lot of things very often, and so whatever he wants, he gets basically.
I love
And
pound cake.
I love a pound cake. We were saying this earlier, like I'm kind of like plain. Like I don't like too much stuff to go on. Like tell me what the ingredients are and make those the ingredients. Don't make it be like 25 different flavors in one thing. You know what I mean? So a pound cake is good. I do a pumpkin pound cake too, but I think I'm just gonna do regular degala. But also that bark, that cracker bark.
That is you. That is
Yes.
the best.
I've been making that since forever. But now every time I see recipes for it, it's totally different than how I make it.
Really?
When I first learned how to do it, like you put the saltines, you make the like caramel, you put it on top of the saltines, you put the chocolate chips or the butterscotch chips or whatever, thing you're using, and then you put it back in the oven to set, and you put sprinkles to make it, festive. But all of the recipes that I look at now all have you spread out the chocolate. Like you put chocolate, you spread it out, and then you put, the candy pieces to make it like peppermint bark or whatever. I never knew that until kind of recently when I was trying to remember like the directions on how to make the caramel. I looked it up. And I was like, why is everyone spreading this shit? Like, yeah, so that's a weird thing. I remember you made it once, and it looks so beautiful because you had like really cute, like pastel, like sprinkles, like you made it for a summer thing, and it was so beautiful. But I was like, why don't we just have the chocolate chips just be there? Why are we gonna spread them out so that it's Like I like the texture of like the different chocolate chips.
I guess I didn't realize now that you mention it. Yes, I can. Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that's how I've always made it. I didn't realize it was a big deal. I feel like I've either mentioned this or wanted to mention this or had an instance listening back to our podcast, but I have the most imposter syndrome, like the most. And so me deciding not to bake, I didn't think it would be a big deal because I didn't think that my food was very good. Like for Thanksgiving there was a whole thing about like me like making some stuff, and I didn't think it was a big deal because it's just like whatever, it's fucking food, like it's not a big deal, only I made it. And so I had this whole imposter thing about every part of my life, that it's like nothing is a big deal if I did it because I did it. But apparently the bark is a big deal to the people in the streets.
That is such a sad. I'm so sad that you feel that way, because
Huh.
you always have brought really good food to my house. Like, you know, it's funny. I never realized that you enjoyed baking, because I think we'd always talk about baking at like the holiday times, or,
Uh-huh.
you know, coming up on like maybe someone's whatever. Like, it was
Uh-huh.
a time where like you had to bake because something was coming up. Like, it wasn't like oh, you know what? Like, I have a free evening. I get to bake, you know, this pound cake, or I
Right.
bake that. It's always in a time when like you're obligated to do it. So I
Yeah.
just under the impression that it wasn't something that you enjoyed.
I don't know, maybe I'm just a complainer. I don't do it for the joy of baking because I'm not trying to eat desserts all the time.
I know, I can't help it. I'm so bad at desserts I make. Like,
But I mean that doesn't mean that I'm not eating desserts all the time. I'm just not baking them myself. And so if I am baking something for someone seeming obligated, it's probably because it was by request and I'm just complaining about doing something that I am good at doing.
it's just so funny that you can like learn new things about people that you literally talk to every day. And
Oh my God, honestly, I said that to Matt. It wasn't recently, it was like 2 months ago. And I was like, I don't know, I feel like I knew Becky before, but like in the last month, I've gotten to know her like so differently in a different way.
oh,
It was the best. I think it was after one of our first bench talks.
oh, so a couple times I've picked Erica up from work, and we run over to the Springfield Mall, and we get pretzel at Annie Ann's, and
Uh-huh.
have parked on a bench. And for some reason, every one of these times have evolved into like this very deep, you know, very like connected
Yeah,
spiritual conversation. I don't know why and how it happens, but I
it
love it.
does.
I am here for it.
I went to the mall the other day and I am trying not to eat dessert snacks. And so Matt said something like, "Oh, let's go to get a pretzel." And I was like, "No, that's me and Becky's thing." But we did get dinner. We got Tony Luke's.
Okay,
Which
love.
it was kind of mediocre.
You know.
Matt had like a broccoli rabe chicken cutlet sandwich, and I had a cheesesteak, but I forgot to ask for mayo on the cheesesteak, and so it wasn't that good. The Springfield Mall is a small mall, but it packs a punch because it has stores that I actually shop at.
Thriving.
Yeah,
Like,
especially like around here. Like there's the other mall, the Granite Run Mall, which is I don't even know if it's there anymore. And then there's another one that's kind of close by that's not thriving at all. There's the one near me that they're turning into like a restaurant mall. Like you go in instead of stores, it's restaurants.
is that the Concord Mall?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I mean there are stores there, but like there's also like a gym or like a dance studio or something.
Hmm.
There's a bunch of restaurants in between, but there's still, the smaller stores and like there's an FYE that's like empty. But yeah, that mall is not. But the Springfield Mall is popping. They have a Torrid. We love Torrid. They have a Boss. They don't have a Boscov's. They have a Macy's, and then there's the Target, and Ulta,
Yeah.
and Pink. Oh, and the Cinnabon opened right at the door.
Oh, that's so dangerous for me.
I know. B and Matt walked right by. He was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "I'm sure."
Yeah, I do not need Cinnabon. I love Cinnabon. Oh, I just don't need it.
Yeah. But Santa Claus was there,
Oh,
and every Monday they do your dog, your pet. I think they said pet, but I'm pretty sure it was dog. You can take a picture with Santa Claus
Oh,
with your puppy.
Louis could never.
Oh, Kennedy would never. She'd bite everybody. Are you kidding? All right, that's it, Beck. Do you have anything else for our friends before we go?
As per usual, this has become a little bit of a thing I do, and that's just thank everybody for listening and sharing and supporting.
You guys are the best. We love all 24 of you. You guys, thank you for listening. Please share our podcast with your friends because if you like us, then probably they'll like us too. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeart Podcasts, and Amazon Music. If you're looking to follow me on social media, I'm at Cold Heart Covered in Gold, and Becky is at Becky_BE.
Thank you.